top of the morning, back with a brand new video, man. Today, I got 5 things that you gotta do before you get in a relationship, because you don't just want to hop into something, you want to be ready for it, right? All right. Before I get into it, though, hit that notification bell so you get my videos. If I'm putting you up on any type of game at all, hit that subscribe button at the end, comment, give me feedbacks, all that good stuff. Oh yeah, check out my other page, Wolf and Pooch. All right, man. So the first thing that you got to do is you got to know yourself before you get into a relationship. You got to know yourself. You got to know your boundaries and you got to know your values, right? And you got to be able to reflect on past experiences, like what you've learned. So that way you can be better equipped for this relationship, right? As far as boundaries, let's say you know respect, that's a non-negotiable. Honesty, that's a non-negotiable. Those are examples of boundaries that you have that, hey, if they cross those boundaries, you can't do it. You feel me? Values, what do you value? Do you value like a religion, right? Because if you do, if you're a Christian, you probably gonna want another Christian. You ain't gonna probably want a Muslim, right? Or a Buddhist. So that's very important. Or if you value kids, if you want kids someday, then you need to find somebody, right, that want the same thing, that want kids. Or if you want marriage, same thing. Find somebody that want that. See, once you identify what you want, it makes it easier to find what you're looking for. If you don't know your own boundaries and your own values, you will just fall for anything, right? Number two, you got to establish an emotional stability, right? You need emotional stability before you hop in any type of relationship. Don't try to get in a relationship just because you alone and you want to escape that loneliness. No. That's one of the things you have to do. You have to be comfortable with being alone, because when you're comfortable with being alone, you're not going to force things. Because we know when you try to force a relationship or a situation, it never works out. So, but when you're comfortable with being alone, you take your time and you find what you need. You feel me? Also, you got to heal from your past relationships, right? That plays a big part in being emotional stable, being emotional stable. You got to heal from all that. A lot of times we just jump into new relationships and we still not healed from the past shit we just been through, right? We still worrying about our ex. We still thinking about how they did us wrong, how they cheated, how they did this, that, and the third. And if you don't heal that, then you're gonna carry that into your new relationship. Then you're gonna have trust issues. Then all that trauma gonna start to creep up and come out in the new relationship with your new partner, and it's just gonna mess it up because you didn't take the time to heal. Always related to like an injury in sports. If you break your ankle, you're not just gonna get back in the game the next day, get in another game. No, you need to take time for that ankle to heal. Then you need to build it back up before you even think about getting into a game or playing on that ankle, right? Same with your heart. Give your time, give your heart time to heal. Build your confidence, that self love back up, and then hop back into the game. Then you go into another relationship. But you got to do this first. Number three, leading to what I just said, you got to build the self confidence, the self love back up. Chances are, if you just got a relationship or you was with somebody, they probably broke you, right? They probably made you a little insecure, right? They probably made you untrustworthy, whatever the case may be. But you got to take the time to build yourself back up to where you was before all that, right? And matter of fact, that makes you stronger. So you build yourself up even stronger this time. You make sure you have that confidence, right? You got to know that you're worthy enough on your own. See, a lot of times we don't realize that, hey, we good enough just by ourselves. And then so people go looking for another person to complete them. But no, you good all by yourself. Trust me. But you gotta know that, right? You really gotta know that. Number four, know what you want, right? A lot of times we don't know what we want. We hop into something new, but we ain't really take the time to figure out, like, damn, do I want something serious? Do I just want something casual? Am I working towards marriage? Am I dating with attention? What do I really want? Figure that out first, right? Figure that out first. You figure that out, then you able to move accordingly. You able to find somebody that want the same things you want. If you want marriage, don't get somebody, that just want to have fun, that just want to keep it casual, because it's not gonna work. It's gonna collide. Your values are colliding, right, at that point. So make sure you know what you want. All right. Um, Number five, the last one, we have to learn healthy communication, right? Meaning you got to learn how to express yourself, especially for my fellas. A lot of times it's hard for us to really express ourselves. We hold a lot of shit in. We feel like we don't want to be vulnerable. It's going to make us look weak, this, that, and the third. But you can express yourself without being weak, guys. You don't have to be crying all over and, getting all emotional, but you can let her know what it is you need, what it is you want, and yeah, and go about it that way. Um, we have to be able to give and receive love. That's a big thing because some people could give love, but they can't receive it. Some people are able to receive it, but they can't give it. You got to be able to do both because if not, you're going to throw the dynamic off, right? I've been there. I've been to that point where, you know, I could show love, but it's hard for me to receive it to where, like, you like, damn, like, especially if you ain't never felt it before, right? If you ain't never been in a healthy relationship, that shit might scare you off. I'm gonna be 100 with you. You be like, damn, I ain't never felt this. This kind of, let me back up a little bit. So you gotta be able to receive that love, man. You got to. Another thing is we have to learn how to listen to each other. That's a big part of communication. Not just talking, but listening. God gave us 2 ears and one mouth for a reason, so we can listen more than we talk, right? So we have to be able to listen to the other person and what they're really telling you. Like, listen to, okay, this is what they need, or, this is how they feeling in the moment. And a lot of times, you don't even have to have a solution. Just listen, right? Just keep an open mind, a open heart, open perspective on things. Hear the other person's side of you, whatever, and then you move accordingly. But a lot of time we just want to talk, 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 talk. Oh, I need to get my point across. Oh, I need to make my point known. Oh, I know this, I know that. Nah, we don't know everything. Take the time to listen. You might learn something, right? And a lot of times, like especially for us fellas, a lot of times, like even with women, they just want to be heard. You feel me? You may not know what to tell them, but as long as they feel like you hear them, then they feel like you near them. You know, it's not just brushing it off and, oh, we'll talk about this later and this and that. Like, you can't keep doing that. If you want something real, now if you just playing around and whatever, that's different. But if you want something serious, you can't kick the can down the road. You got to take care of these issues as they arise. You feel me? But yeah, man, those were five things that we need to do before we even think about getting in a relationship. I will add one more thing for the fellas. Um, have a purpose and work on your money, right? Work on getting your bag, your chicken bag. It's very important. You want to have that ambition heading into the relationship, right? So you able to keep that same mentality and you able to be a leader so she could follow, you know. But yeah, that was it, man. Five things to do before a relationship. Like, comment, subscribe. If you made it this far, I want you to put do this because you got to do this first, man. Right? Do this. Do this before you even think about jumping in a relationship. I promise you. You got to prepare. You got to prepare. All right. Till the next time, you already know what it is, man. It's lit.